Norm Snead hit 11 out of 17 in the first half. Ron Johnson ran for 67 yards, the top ground gainer. Here's Ron Johnson. And he has a first down. Ron Johnson out to the 32-yard line.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, it's all too familiar scene. You know, the new GM and the new coach come in and they want to win. But they want to win with or gamble on their success, you know, their jobs, their livelihood and all. They want to gamble and all that with their own guys, not the guys that were left over from the team from the past. Because usually the team, you bring in a new coach in, usually new GM. That's usually because the team stunk. There was a problem of it. So I mean, the GM comes in. He's gonna want his coach. I mean, if you want to do it right, he's gonna want their quarterback. They're gonna want their players. But basically it's the same thing with the coaches. The coaches come in. They're gonna want their players. They're gonna want gamble everything on there with their quarterback. And the Giants have been kind of they've had it's the third GM they've had now in the last 6 years. I mean, not very impressive. This is the sixth coach they've had in the last 8 years. If you go back to Tom Coughlin. All right, so we got six. We got Tom Coughlin, then you had Ben McAdoo. Then the last 4 games of the 17 season, we had Steve Spagnuolo. You had Pat Shurmur. You had Joe Judge. Now you got Brian Daboll. So you got 6 coaches from 2015 on. I mean, guys come in. It's like they have no connection for the most part with any of these guys. Unless for the most part they're really locked into them and they're going to try to get rid of them. They're going to just some of the players they can't afford to get rid of. So that some of them end up can't trade. I mean, like a Leonard Williams. He's going to want to pick up his contract. Can't get rid of him. It's all dead cap money. So some of them they're stuck with for like maybe a year or two or whatever. But there are some guys they can get rid of. Many times the coaches and the GMs only have so many years to turn things around. So they have to kind of move quickly. And getting rid of the old and bringing in the new. Right. Now Joe Schoen wants to clear about $40 million in cap space. Now, according to Spot Track, this is Spot Track, right? The Giants are around $10 million. Actually, I guess in the red, as they say. We have more than $10 million. We're over the cap, $10 million, right? The top 51 players were $10 million. Because the top 51 players on your roster, that's what goes toward your salary cap. All right? And so a full man roster of 53, they're about a little over $11 million over the salary cap already. So, so basically we're at least $10 million, according to Spot Track. All right, we're about $10 million over. So now does he mean he wants to clear $50 million in cap space? So he'll have $40 million, to spend, or does he means he just wants to get rid of 40, so he'll have 30. The 40 to have 30 is going to be a little on the tight side. I mean, it's we're not going to have much money at all. So the Giants are going to need to clear, at least. They're going to have to get to at least $20 million, under the cap, just to sign their draft picks. So you're looking at, they need to get rid of at least absolute minimum $30 million. That's just to sign their draft picks. And that's no free agents or anything like that at all. Yeah. So now what I was looking at is that last year, each basically, when the salary cap rolls around, the draft picks rolled around, each spot has a designated amount that's, the player's going to get. Like, first overall pick is going to get so much, this much per year. I like it that way because years in the past, a quarterback would come in and he'd get drafted number one, and he'd want like a 5-year contract, and he'd want like $80 million. He's never thrown a pass in the NFL, and I want about half. Give me about 17 a year. It sounds pretty good. We don't even know if you're any good. I mean, just because you had some good stats in college, that's what the hell does that mean? You know what I mean? So, sometimes it causes some problems. So, I mean, the way I like it now is that if you drafted one, this is what you're making per year. If you drafted number two, that's what you make. I like that. Now, if you go back to the draft last year, boy, we got picks 5 and 7. I'll tell you what, boy, I wish we got picks 5 and 7 from last year, boy. I got Jamar Chase, right? He actually wanted to play football this year. He actually wanted to get on the field and didn't want to complain about injuries and all, unlike our first round pick. But Jamar Chase, I think it was like $5.6 million. And I think he had like maybe a signing bonus in there, maybe $1 million or something. So I think his contract might have been, maybe like $6.5 million or so for his first year. But I was just, I just saw without the signing bonus, spot number 5 last year in the 2021 draft, it was $5.6 million. Then Penei Sewell, he was number 7. I wish we got, Penei right tackle, Andrew Thomas left tackle, Jamar Chase out there wide receiver. Woo, baby! Yeah! Liking that. Anyway, Penei Sewell was number 7. His, I think, base kind of salary or whatever was $4.3 million. I think he had some type of like a sign-in bonus in there, which pushed it up over $5 million. So basically, I mean, the base salary, I think it was between the two was at least like $10 million. That's just for our top 2 picks. Now this year, each year it goes up a little bit. I mean, it's not like pick number 7 for Penei Sewell. In 10 years from now, pick number 7 is still going to be making the same amount. No, it goes up every year. Not a heck of a lot, but it goes up each year, right? But I'm saying, we're going to need at least $10 million, 10, 11, maybe 12 if there's like a signing bonus in there or something like that, just to sign our top 2 draft picks. 10 to 12 million we're going to need, and we're 10 in the hole. So I mean, we're going to need to get rid of like at least 20 to 22 just to sign our top 2 draft picks. Now then we have 9 more picks. Right, we got 11. So the 9 other picks, right, that we're gonna need at least another 10 million for those guys. So you wind up looking at, so that's at least bare minimum $20 million. I mean, unless we trade away some of the draft picks, But if you trade, I mean, if you trade away, some of the later picks, like get rid of maybe a couple of round 5s or 6 or 7, they're only making like maybe $800,000 or so, right? I mean, it's not like you're saving yourself a boatload of money unless you trade away, 6 of your picks. But, I mean, the Giants could use all the picks they can get. But I mean, as I said, if you're trading picks later on, it's not like, we're doing it to save money. The way you could save money would be if you would wind up taking picks number 5 and number 7, and if somebody coming up, maybe obviously somebody starts taking off real well, and maybe there's a quarterback starts climbing up the draft boards, and somebody wants to come in and maybe take your spot number 5. Well, get rid of that, trade that, and then maybe move back some picks or whatever like that, and it's maybe save yourself some money that way. Maybe you pick up some more draft picks. But I mean, just the way it is. If they don't do any, because Shane has no history whatsoever of picking draft picks. This is his first rodeo. So, he has no history of trading up or trading back or anything. But I mean, we're just going to need like at least $20 million, just round it off, to sign just our draft picks. So, basically, where's the $20 million? Not only that, where's the $20 million going to come from? But not only the $20 million, but the 10 that we're in the hole already. So there's $30 million we have to get rid of. Now, I saw an article. I'll leave a link in the description box. You can check it out. It was from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. He seems to think that maybe Kadarius Toney could be a trade bait. Kind of interesting. Now I know it's like with a lot of these guys, they gotta they gotta write an article, and it's gotta grab your attention. So hey, let's put Kadarius Toney. I mean, that grabbed your attention, grabbed my attention. So now I'm putting a video out, and hopefully it'll grab your attention. But so he just put an article out there. I said you can check it out, saying that maybe Kadarius Toney might wind up being trade bait. In a way, I can maybe small bit. I can kind of see it. Because basically Shane and Dave will gonna want to put up with Kadarius Toney. He only played in 10 games last year, right? And actually, let's see, the one game against the Rams, I think he caught 3 passes on the first drive, and then he was hurt. He got taken out. So basically, he hardly even played in that game. So, he missed 7 games, darn near almost 8 full games he missed. So basically, he only played, maybe a little more than half the season. He played, 9 games and 1 drive. That's basically all he played. And the first couple of games, he hardly didn't get on the field that much either. Now he had Dan Dierdorf. Let me take a little one of his phrases. Kadarius Toney had a plethora of problems last year. He was on the COVID list 2 times, not once but twice. He had 6 different injuries that he was on the injury report with. It's just amazing. Like, some guys can go through a whole season, like Dexter Lawrence or some of the other guys, maybe in the offensive line or something like that, and nothing. Especially like the defense, offensive line. Guys that make contact, they button heads every freaking play. Always, and they're never on the injury report. And Kadarius Toney, like every time he catches a pass, he's going on the injury report for some. He had 6 injuries that was listed. He had a hamstring problem. He had a problem with his ankle. He had a problem with his thumb. He had a problem with his quad. He had a problem with his oblique, and he had a problem with his shoulder. All in one season. And then we had a problem with his cleats, too, in the beginning of spring training camp. And then I don't know if Shane or Dave will know this or whatever, but the problem with his cleats he had. But also, I said, I'm not aware of they were, but there was something happened with him and the reporters or something. They asked him some kind of question, or I don't know exactly what it was, but I don't know if he took it real well or something. Like maybe after he was done with the reporters, he went on Twitter. And he tweeted something like, you guys don't know what you guys are just a bunch of clowns, or you guys are a bunch of jokers, or something like that. And it seemed like it might have been kind of directed at the reporters and all. And I don't know if like Joe Judge went and pulled him aside and said something to him, like, you don't want to be doing that, or make sure you tell him it's not directed at that, or something like that. Because the next time he had a press conference, or he was talking with the reporters and all, he was all laughing up. That had nothing to do with you guys. So I don't know if it did or if it didn't or anything like that. But does a guy really want to play football, or is he? I know he's got a rap career, or he's trying to get a rap career or something. Or is he more worried about that? Because he's signed a contract, right? He's guaranteed money. First round pick, that's guaranteed money, so he knows he has the money coming in, right? If he can play a game, and then maybe get a little injury, a little something, maybe a thumb or something, maybe keep him out for a game, then come in, and then go out with a quad for a game, and then maybe play, and then come out with an ankle, and then maybe, I mean, does the guy really want to play football? I mean, is this something that Schoen and Dable want to risk their jobs, their reputation, and all of that, everything on? They want somebody like him on the team. Do you want somebody like that, or maybe trade him and maybe get a second round pick? Maybe some team's willing to gamble on him. He's picked 20, so I mean he's cheap. He's only like $3 million a year. I mean, if you get the guy on the field, you see what the guy can do. But for 20, pick number 20. I mean, he's like $3 million a year. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, he's got for at least the next 3 years, you can pick up his fifth year fifth year option and still keep him relatively cheap. So I mean, if another team wants to maybe gamble on him and hope maybe he'll stay healthy, maybe he wants to actually play football, you can maybe do some magical things with him. So maybe another team might be willing to maybe give us a second round pick for him. Who knows? Now, because when Schoen, well, it wasn't him, but I mean Schoen and Bean, the GM with the Bills and all, they brought in guys to help Josh Allen. They went out and got 2 receivers for Josh Allen. All right, they brought in Stefon Diggs and they brought in Cole Beasley. Now, I mean, you can say, like Kadarius Toney is small and maybe that's why he's getting all banged up and everything like that. But I got news for you. Kadarius Toney's. I saw he's listed at 193 pounds. He caught 39 passes last year. He was out almost half the year with 6 different freaking injuries. 193 pounds. Stefon Diggs was 191 pounds. He caught 230 passes over the past 2 years. Cole Beasley's 174 pounds. He's like 20 pounds lighter than Kadarius Toney. So these guys are even smaller, lighter, right? More frail, so to speak, maybe, than Kadarius Toney. Right? Kadarius Toney's well put together for 193 pounds, but he's small. But I mean, so I mean, it's not so much, because he's small that he's getting all beat up. Maybe he just doesn't really want to play. Maybe he doesn't have the heart. Yes, I mean, if you see the difference, between Stefon Diggs and Cole Beasley, they're available to play. That's huge. It doesn't matter how good you are with Kadarius Toney. I mean, you see the guy. Nobody can tackle the dude. I mean, he puts on moves. He basically standing still. He's in a small area for a couple of seconds, dodging guys and this. But while he's dodging guys, the other guys, before you know it, he has 3, 4, 5 guys surrounding him. Then he either goes down or there's 3 or 4 or 5. Somebody grabs a hold of him and brings him down. But it was like one-on-one. They have a hard time tackling him. But I mean, you see the talent there. But it's like you're not doing us any good if you can't play. If you're on the sideline because you've got a bad thumb or a bad quad or whatever, you're not doing the team any good. So if you realize, I said that Diggs, has missed 10 games. Stefon Diggs has missed 10 games in 7 seasons. Since 2015, he's missed a grand total of 10 games. Kadarius Toney's missed basically almost 8 games in 1 season. Stefon Diggs, who's smaller, who caught 230 balls the past 2 years, right, has missed 10 games, 7 years. 230 balls he caught. Holy crap. Then you got the same thing with Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley missed 12 games. Cole Beasley's 20 pounds lighter than Kadarius Toney. Cole Beasley missed 12 games in 10 seasons. 10 seasons. You realize that the way Kadarius Toney's going in 10 seasons, he would wind up missing 70 games? That would be 4 full seasons he'd be missing. At a 17-game season. So at the rate he's going in 10 years, I mean, I don't even know if he's even going to be around that long, but in 10 years he'd miss 4 full seasons of football. because of his injuries, the way he's going. You know, I mean, they went out and got guys. They got their big boy pants on. They want to play some football. They got paid well. They want to play some football. I'm not so sure if Kadarius Toney wants to wind up doing something, wants to play football or not. So I'm saying, so it's like, I don't know if Shane, you know what I mean, if they're looking at, the injuries, all the injuries he had and all of that, do they really want to put up with that? I mean, is it going to be like, well, he had 6 injuries last year. Maybe this year he'll be totally healthy. Yeah, you sure? Yeah. You willing to gamble on that? I mean, I'm willing to gamble on Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley. I'm willing to gamble on those guys. Because I know if they can't play, I know they're injured. With Kadarius Toney, I have no idea. I have no idea if he wants to play. No idea if he's injured. I have no idea about anything with the guy. No idea if he has any heart whatsoever. All these injuries last year, and all of a sudden he's going to start being healthy? Yeah. Okay. So now, some of the guys that the Giants or Shane can wind up getting rid of to start getting some salary cap space for us, because guys, this is February. Next month, it's a little more than a month away, but next month, free agency. Things are going. Month after that, we got the draft. I mean, things are happening. So if we get rid of Kyle Rudolph, right, we save $5 million. Then if we get rid of Riley Dixon, freaking blew this year. He sucked. You can bring in off the street. You can probably pick up 200-300 punters off the street. For the cheap. Maybe they aren't super spectacular, but you got plenty of punters out there you can bring in. And and Riley Dixon was making like over $3 million. He didn't earn it last year, I can tell you that much. So you get rid of him, save $2.8 million. Get rid of Sterling Shepard, save yourself $4.5 million. I know I'd hate to get rid of the guy too, but the guy's same thing with Kadarius. He's injured all the time. You're only so good if you're on the field. And Sterling Shepard just cannot stay on the field. Get rid of James Bradbury, save yourself $12 million. He's as good as gone, I can almost guarantee you. Kyle Rudolph and James Bradbury, those two guys together, $17 million. They're gone. Get rid of Blake Martinez. It's horrible, I know, but that's $8.5 million. You get rid of Martinez, you get rid of Bradbury, and you get rid of Rudolph. There's $25 million right there to save yourself. 3 guys, $25 million. I know. You get rid of Nick Gates. I mean, he saved yourself a little over $2 million, but I mean, you have no idea if he's going to come back. Shane and Dable, I'm sure, love his heart, his guts, and determination, all that and everything, but he got injured really bad, and you can save yourself a couple $1 million. He's probably he might good chance he's gone. Get rid of Caden Smith, save yourself $2.5 million. Get rid of Devontae Booker, save yourself $2.1 million. Right, you get rid of all those guys, you save yourself $39.5 million. It's $40 million. So that would be basically it's $40 million. You're 10 over the cap, so now you have $30 million, right? Cap space. If you sign your draft class to about $20 million, that'll give you about $10 million worth of cap. It's not a lot, but at least it's something. If you trade Saquon Barkley, his contract's only $7 million, 7.2. Maybe trade him, maybe get a 3rd rounder for him. That wouldn't be bad. Somebody's get him for $7 million for this year if he can stay healthy. You get a team that's going someplace. Absolutely, that's a phenomenal. And then they can maybe sign it to a nice long-term deal if they're gonna have the money. The Giants can't they can keep him for this year. And they may not, but they maybe try to trade him. But I mean, they can't sign the guy that $10, $12, $13 million a year. Can't do it. So I mean, by this year coming up, it's probably going to be his last year. But I mean, if they can trade him, maybe get a 3rd rounder for him, save $7 million. Same thing with Kadarius Toney. Trade him. Some team thinks they can work wonders with him. Some team thinks that maybe he can stay healthy. For them, we'll save $3 million. Maybe you can get a 2nd or 3rd rounder for him. Pick up a couple of extra 3rd rounders. We got 2 third-rounders already. If we can get a third-rounder for Saquon, a third-rounder for Kadarius, we have 4 third-round picks. We have 2 in the first, a second, and 1, 2, 3, 4 third round. We have 7 picks in the first 3 rounds. That'd be fantastic. So if you can trade Kadarius Toney and Saquon Barkley, there's another $10 million you'd save yourself. So you save the 10 with those guys, 40 with the other guys. There's $50 million right there. It's $50 million. We are $10 million in the hole. We're $10 million above the cap, right? So the 10 and the 50 you're saving, there's $40 million. Now that would give you about $20 million to sign your draft picks. That would give about $20 million going into the season, or maybe you can get a couple of cheaper free agents here or there or something, and then maybe you might have 10, maybe $12 million of cap space going into the season. I don't even think that's enough. I mean, I can see maybe Shane just trying, or maybe maybe if you want to extend maybe Leonard Williams' contract, maybe write it out for maybe another year or so, and maybe take the cap hit. Maybe save $3, $4, $5 million off the cap this year. Maybe extend somebody else's, maybe take save a little bit more off the cap. Maybe do that with a few players. Maybe save another $10 million there. I mean, obviously there's all different ways of doing things, but that's just between getting rid of guys, trading some guys, and maybe extending some guys' contracts and making their cap hit this year lower. That's what he's gonna have to want to do. It ain't gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be. It's gonna take a long couple years to start turning things around and all. But I mean, what he's gonna start, he's gonna have to start doing this. It's gonna be soon, and it's not gonna be pretty, but it's something that's got to get done. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!